Hello and welcome back to another certified UGLIEST video. In today's video we're building arguably one of the most unique BMWs on planet Earth. This is the full build video of our 600 horsepower all-wheel drive E46 M3 Compact Cosworth. And this is also my favorite build we've done so far. So let's go. What better way to start our Cosworth project than with our already existing Cosworth, our beloved E46 Compact. This car is going to be the perfect base to create something the world has never seen before. Obviously, as you can see, the car definitely has seen some better days, I would say. We bought this car for like 1.5 years. We have completely converted it to an E46 330 X-Drive setup, so the car is already overdrive, but the engine took a shit the last time we drove it, so...
Irgendwie raucht er erstaunlich weiß, muss ich sagen, aus dem Motorraum raus.
Well, the whole car is gonna get a renewal anyway, so we don't worry about this all too much. So the concept of this whole build is going to be E46 Compact, make it look good, give it a lot of power, all-wheel drive, so we can do some serious all-wheel drive slides. I want to have a proper all-wheel drive car to drift around, and this is going to be the base, hopefully. Anyway, let's get started, engine out, and then we can show you more of what we have planned. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now exactly 1 hour and 23 minutes later, which means Gabriel is now officially the fastest person ever on Earth to pull an M57 engine out of an all-wheel drive converted E46 Compact with a Cosworth spoiler. Gabriel, gratuliere. Congratulations. But this leaves us with one burning question left. And this is, what engine do we put into a lovely E46? We have big hopes, big dreams and big plans for this beautiful car, because honestly, I think that this car has potential. We already ordered a complete, das sage ich euch noch nicht, was wir geordert haben. Können wir genauso wieder drin lassen. And that means we also need an engine that fits our big plans and big dreams. And what better way to do this than to buy one of the fastest, actually the fastest 4-cylinder engines in the world. I made it up, but it is pretty fast, I think. All right. This is the beautiful piece of machinery that we have acquired to go into our E46 Compact. I think I was not completely lying, because this actually is the fastest 4-cylinder BMW engine in the world right now. And we just purchased it because Gabriel showed me the ad on eBay. And then yesterday, some guy came from Romania. He drove like 16 hours in an Opel and dropped off us the engine. And now we have this engine here, which is a
M42 B16 out of an E36 316.
So it's a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. On the last car, it made around 800 horsepower. It's actually a very small engine.
I have to correct one thing. I think there are faster BMW engines, like B48s.
Not this one. Mein ist der schnellste. We have an exhaust, we have everything already that we could possibly need. The engine is completely put together, so that gives us enough room to play around with the car. And well, the engine is completely built. We have billet internals everywhere, obviously, otherwise it would explode, which I hope it doesn't. So that only leaves us with the most important thing. So we need to make this engine fit with the all-wheel drive layout. This is how the engine came. As you can see, we don't have any space for the all-wheel drive to go through, because in the BMW, obviously, you have the gearbox back here, and then you have the Verteilergetriebe, and this basically sends one of the drive shafts to the front, where then it is split up and goes to the front wheels. But as you can see here, rear-wheel drive engine doesn't have any room for that. So my smart mechanic Gabriel, who's already lighting up a cigarette right now, actually used the oil pan of our previous engine, which was in there, and he actually cut up the oil pan very nicely, as you can see. Definitely doesn't cut into your finger if you touch it wrong. And with this modification, it kind of fits onto this engine. We still need a little bit of adjustment work, but as you can see, now we have a space for our all-wheel drive system to go through the engine. We are now the first ones in the world with an M47?
M42 B16.
Genau. All-wheel drive converted E46 Compact Cosworth car. So Gabriel's gonna work on that now, make this fit. Gabriel's gonna have the best time of his life. He's gonna absolutely enjoy every second of it.
Fuck you.
Anyway, I mean, it's just a little bit of work, so we're nearly done with the project already, and we haven't even started. This video is nearly already over, as you guys can see. Just put this back together, engine in there, gearbox in there, and we should be good to go. Also viel Spaß, Gabriel.
Dankeschön.
Lass dich doch mal allein. Alright, really quick. Before we start the build, it's a quick break for today's sponsor of the video. And today's sponsor of the video is AWD. They were actually kind enough to send me this package because they said I might need it for this build. So let's go take a look what is inside here. I can tell you guys that AWD is probably the easiest and smartest way to get parts for all of your car related needs. They know me way too well. Spacers for the Spacer King. Thank you, AWD. Very nice. I'm gonna take good care of these babies. So here's how it works. Because you're probably asking yourself, Safekin, how do we order an AWD? Simply go to the AWD app and add your vehicle to your collection. In our case, we click the E46 because that's what we're working on right now. And then you can see you have all the parts that are available for this car listed here. Very simple, very easy, and also very cheap. So what are you guys waiting for? Go download their app or go to the website and go get shopping. Also, if you use this code right here, you can save some money from yours truly, Sheepman. And with that, we go back to the video. Okay, to put this very complicated mess into short terms, every all-wheel drive BMW engine has a special oil pan that actually supports the all-wheel drive system. This 4-cylinder engine came from a rear-wheel drive car, and these 4-cylinder engines never made it to all-wheel drive cars. So there is no oil pan available on the market right now that we can put onto this engine, which in even shorter terms means we take the 4-cylinder oil pan and the 6-cylinder all-wheel drive oil pan and we create one very beautiful 4-cylinder all-wheel drive oil pan.
That's no problem because I'm a motivated mouse.
This is going to be another video with your favorite native speaker,
Screw it. Fist.
Gabriel.
So now we have every hole drilled. We can take a look if it fits. Nice. So the only thing I have to do at the inside, I have to grind it a little bit because we have these bolts inside and they are a little bit too much in the back. So I only have to grind out the oil pan a little bit. And then we have a perfect fitting oil pan.
Obviously, with our fresh oil pan now installed, we have to check one key component to couple all the power from the engine to the drivetrain, because we need
the clutch. The part which makes me the most nervous since the beginning of the build. That thing here is from an M57. The complete clutch kick is from an M57. Gearbox is M57. So yeah, I think these holes will all fit. But I don't think that these two holes will fit because the diesel engine is standing more straight than the Benziner engine. And yeah, so now it comes to the most interesting part, which is the flywheel fitting with all these holes. Oh my god. The M40 flywheel fits with the M57 flywheel, which is absolutely amazing. So the next important step is we have to move this housing here because we have to shorten it because the complete clutch system is coming more wider out 4 millimeters and we have to cut it 4 millimeters. So let's put the grinder and take it away. So there you can see this is really straight like me. Now we're putting it back into the gearbox. Screw it. Fist. We started putting on the gearbox, which means the biggest part of the whole project is done. If you're wondering how we did it, we are just fucking machines.
In the meantime, while all of this was going on, we had the car at Picker Auto here in Austria for some fresh new paint job. And once it came back, I literally couldn't believe my eyes. It was red, very red. And I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, it looks pretty bad right now, but once everything is put back together, it's gonna look cool. So just trust the process and let's continue with our build. I think once we have everything together, once we have all the lights in the car and everything, it will actually look pretty good. So just ignore these green wheels for the moment and ignore the red engine bay. We're gonna fix all of this. And then best case scenario, we have a nice red rocket E46 with an M3 front. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to paint it black or whatever. But from this angle, I think it does look kind of cool. Hopefully, very soon start our E46 M3 Compact all-wheel drive 4-cylinder turbo for the first time ever. So, let's go. Anyway, so with this all being done already, we got a fresh new oil pan, we got the clutch, we got the gearbox back together to the engine, we have a freshly painted, very red car, which means it is now time for the wedding, coupling the engine and the transmission into the car. For this, obviously, we're also going to need some custom engine mounts, because this engine and this gearbox have never been delivered in an E46 Compact, which means it is time again for Gabriel to take his little mechanic hands, grab a welder, and go get welding away.
She just hit me with the blue veins, now she gon'
Okay, wir haben da ein kleines Problem. Puh. Was tun wir da? Ah, fuck. Oops. So, the engine mounts are finished. I think they turned out really good. So this one looks very professional here. Now I have to weld here down and here, and I have to stiff it out from underneath. But for that I have to get out the engine. But we still have other things to do, which is mounting the radiator, mounting the intercooler, mounting the oil cooler. So we have still a lot to do. Crazy. I love it.
So, everything's in the car didn't burn down to the ground, absolutely amazing. So next up, we're going to have to check the placement of every key component of the engine, meaning the turbo, all the cooling components, downpipes, literally everything. We need to figure out where to put it in place so that it's in the best possible location for this car. This is a very important step, and also arguably the step that took the longest, because as you can imagine, none of these parts are available to buy, so literally everything has to be done by hand by Gabriel. And I absolutely love him for this, because it turned out so sick.
So we have the final position of our turbo. So this is the exact position where I want the radiator to be mounted. Intercooler here, right here. Oil cooler here. The reason why I'm using this is because what thing in the world works very, very hard with some much hydraulic and much... This fan is not from motorsport, this fan is from an excavator, which means this makes a lot of air without even moving. So normally you have the wind when driving the car, which comes in front of the car, but an excavator just stands on the same point and is digging some big holes. So it needs to get cooled very hard. So I decided to buy some excavator fans. I had it on my race car and it worked perfect. A baka.
So.
So we got it. The engine bay is complete. Only the pipes from the intake manifold are missing, but the intake manifold is also missing. I absolutely love it. Everything has enough space. Every pipes are finished. You can see steering pump is installed. I made a box for the steering because when the car is going to drive some rally things, then I don't want stones to hit it. Yeah, so next thing is I have to deinstall the downpipe, I have to deinstall the manifold because it's going to be thermo-insulated. So yeah, I have to send it to Germany and then we are ready to go to disassemble the final engine. So yeah.
Oh, and of course, in between placing all these parts and welding all this stuff, we have to take out the engine again to paint the engine bay.
So now it's disassembly time. Now I want to show you why I built the chassis mount, engine mounts. You can now work on the engine on every point without any issue because the engine is still in the car, but the front subframe which holds the engine is gone. I mean, now I can connect the two sides of the all-wheel drive because they needed to connect it, but I didn't know how to manage it with the all-wheel drive, so now you can do everything. I just love some technical shit. In the meantime, I disassembled the complete engine, so compact stands here again without an engine. Engine is here. So next thing I will do is clean the engine bay and paint it
And after that, it is time to mount the all drive system for the first time to our new oil pan and the new engine.
The front differential doesn't sit in perfectly aligned. I only hope that it's not gonna start leaking, but yeah, we will see. So now it's time for the drive shafts. I think we've created something really spectacular. Yeah, it looks sick. It looks so stupid because it's in four-wheel drive on a 4-cylinder, but I love it. The part arrived which I'm the most excited about the last days, and this is the Raptor, which we use for the engine bay because it is an structural or whatever paint. With Raptor you can spray, and as you can see it's getting a structure, which means it's harder to scratch. So basically you can scratch it with, when you put in the downpipe or anything, the material stays in a good condition because the paint is so thick that you don't have to worry about that something is scratching the material. Okay, I can see it's getting empty pretty fast, so it would be better I would have ordered second can. But yeah, that's it with the Raptor. Unfortunately, it's empty.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you saw Gabriel made quite some progress on the E46 over the course of the last 4,000 weeks. We have a completely Raptor-aligned engine bay, which looks beautiful. I think Gabriel is gonna turn into Da Vinci if I let him paint more cars, honestly. This looks like Da Vinci's work. It's very precise and fine, and you can feel it with your fingertips. It feels very soft and nice, and okay, nice. Yeah, over here on this dinner table, we have already prepared the engine and the gearbox to go into the car for the final and last time. Engine is completely done, gearbox is completely done, everything is
Completely done.
so wie du auch.
Yes.
Wie waren die letzten Wochen für dich?
Completely done. Nein, ist schön.
Schön. Ich hab dir gesagt, du kommst erst dann wieder raus, wenn das Auto fertig ist.
Ich weiß ja nicht mehr, wie das Tageslicht ausschaut.
Alter, da passt noch ein Motor rein.
So, yesterday we put in the engine with the help of Docs and Otto. Looks amazing with the Raptor. So now it's time to make the front subframe nice again. But we can mount the suspension, we can mount the wheel bearing. So yeah, pretty nice.
Now with everything being freshly painted, everything needs to go into the car one last time. And hopefully it will stay there for quite some while.
So it's time to bring the front subframe into the car again. Slipped in without doing anything, just lifting up the car with the gearbox check, and yeah.
Next up, it was time for Gabriel's masterpiece, which was going to be the intake manifold. Because obviously we also couldn't find one of those online for sale, so we had to build our own. Gabriel got a few parts CNC machined by a friend of ours, but the major part of the manifold had to be welded by Gabriel himself. So let's go.
So today is the big day, the most important day for me, because I have to be really genau. Yeah, that's the thing. I have that side here. I have to build a body for the intake manifold. So what I have to do now is place that pipe here to have a corner. Cut the pipe here and on the other side, of course. And then I have the first corner. But I don't want it in 90 degrees. I want it in 45 degrees because I still need some piping here. And yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's pretty hard because I don't have the proper tools to do the cutting, because normally you have a tool which you put on here and you can go with the pen here, but I don't have it. So yeah, after a long time building this thing here, it's finally time to weld. But before we start welding everything on the outside, you can see I already welded this line here completely on the inside, because this is the longest point where the most pressure comes on. So I started to welding it at the inside, as you can see, and now I have to weld the other side and then we can start doing the most interesting stuff, which is welding the outside. So I think I'm getting a pretty bad sunburn, but the intake manifold is welded on the inside, complete. I know it don't look good, but it don't has to look good, it has to be proof, and it is proof. Du hättest noch schon wieder ein lustiges Video zeigen.
They don't even know who he is. They're in on the rise, their life lifetime. Looking at the control, hype me up, where you're gonna have a real bad.
Also, apart from the intake manifold, another very important part of our build arrived that day. Thank you very much, KW Suspension, for these beautiful coilovers. I love you very much. Please have my children.
Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Rally Compact. Coilovers from KW, because the Compact is a little bit a mix of E46 Touring and E46 Compact, so it means they had to produce us some coilovers. Look at this, how nice. Most important step at first, make it low as wide as possible. Look how beautiful it is. KW. So now it's time for our big brake kit. EBK, sorry. Big brake kit. And look how amazing they look. We are making the first fitment check on the Compact with the KW suspension, the big brakes, and everything what changed on the car, which means I'm really excited now because the car is standing like this without wheels 3 months now. So yeah, it's time to put on the wheels for the first time. So let me do the other side and then we go down together. It looks so good.
The joy of seeing the car for the first time on the ground with some wheels on it, however, was pretty short lasted, because what followed next were probably the most chaotic days in not only Gabriel's life, but also everybody else who was involved. The following sequence is Gabriel, Koda, Eisel, Dox and Ronnie trying to figure out the wiring of the car and trying to get the car to run for the first time ever, which was a nightmare.
You have two wires. 4 plus, I think. One is from the starter, I think.
Der Ronny am Ausbessern vor ein bisschen am Pfusch.
Never change a running system. So, new piping for the power steering pump. The tank is already complete.
Da oben kommt die, weil da gibt es keine. Ist das drin?
First things first.
Yes, first things first, we need a cigarette because I'm very sick. Yes. The cables came out of the lift and now it made pfft. Schau mal, oder?
Ja, du musst schon das Auto.
Ja. It's now 1 in the morning. Yeah, stay healthy.
Bist du miert?
Ja, bist du deppert, du hast
Mehr Augenringe wie 100 Jahre alter Baum. Nein, da kommt nichts.
So the gearbox is also working.
After all this chaos, Gabriel decided to open up the engine to check if the engine is even good, because they found some metal flakes in the oil, which was honestly a bit worrying. But it turned out, to our surprise, that the engine was perfectly healthy and everything is good, so we're Gucci. We're good to go. Alright, my friends, this project is coming to an end. After like 5 months, 5 months of working on this car. This was supposed to be a project that's only gonna last a few weeks, but Gabriel literally poured his whole heart and soul into it, and honestly, I think it pays off. I'm currently looking at the finished version of our E46 M3 all-wheel drive compact, and honestly I have to say this might be our best creation yet. This is my favorite project. It looks absolutely amazing, and without further talking, here it is.
I'm hot 24/7. I sleep in my Louboutin, so I wake up sexy. My martini's 31, and no not to test me. On my worst behavior, but at least I'm with my besties. I'm the baddest bitch, so come arrest me. In a new whip with a new like beer. On the west side for some new dick. Maria, Maria. Got 3 toys and they all boys and they call me mommy.
Yeah, as you can see, we got pretty much done with all the bodywork and everything. Gabriel put in quite a lot of work over the last couple of days to make the car look beautiful because we were having some trouble with all the fitment issues and some of the parts really did not match up at all. But now it looks like a proper car. Everything is working like it's supposed to. There's a few things still missing. We're gonna put a cage inside, for example, and we're gonna clean up the inside a little bit more. But overall, I would say the car is 95% ready and I am so amazed how it turned out. We always had this vision of creating something like this out of a compact, and I truly think this might be the coolest and most exquisite BMW on planet Earth. It really looks like a Cosworth. I posted a story of this car a few days ago on Instagram. Like, so many people of you didn't know what was going on because it looks so different than everything else. And honestly, I can't wait to test it out fully for the first time. I think it's gonna be amazing to drive, especially now in the winter time with the overdrive. Honestly, this is... Also wirklich, Gebs, gratuliere. Gut gemacht. And we had this idea for such a long time, and now seeing it finished for the first time ever is absolutely fantastic. So, engine bay, all nice and clean. You guys see everything is nicely painted. We still have the Raptor paint, which honestly was such a good idea. Turbochargers in the front, because we have so much place with this little 4-cylinder. It doesn't take up near the space that the 6-cylinder or an 8-cylinder would have, obviously. Bro, this looks like, honestly, this is a masterpiece. Also ohne Scheiß, du hast die selbst übertroffen. Look at this. We're gonna take it to the dyno now. This is gonna be the last step of our video, and we're gonna hope that the car doesn't blow up. And therefore we can also hopefully show you how much power this car is making, and we can hear it in action for the first time, which I am very excited about. Cool thing about this car, everything works. So if you go into here, we still have the radio, we still have all the lights that are working perfectly fine. We still even have AC. It's like a fully functioning car, and I honestly can't believe it that I'm saying this, but we have a fully functioning car. Yeah, without further talking, I think it is time for the first proper startup of this car. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see how it sounds. We have cat cams and everything, so it should sound pretty rally-like. It sounds so sick. It sounds like it's got 1,000,000 horsepower. Gonna be so rowdy and so much fun to drive. This is gonna be so sick. I can't wait to see it. The only thing that's not working is the fuel gauge right now, but that's a quick fix. But we have to hurry up and we have to go to the dyno to see how much power this car is making and how it actually sounds during driving. So far it's crazy. The whole car is shaking, the whole ground is shaking. It truly feels like a proper rally car is idling next to me, and it sounds so sick. Even got some working headlights now. Can't wait for the day where you see this car go sideways around the corner for the first time. It's gonna be so sick. All right, let's get this car into the trailer and then let's go to the dyno and see how our E46 M3 Compact all-wheel drive Cosworth is actually working for the first time ever. I can't wait to see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I already hear the E46. All right, we're gonna drive a quick lap before we go to the dyno really quick. Spinnst du? Das fühlt sich so wütend an. But this car feels so stiff. It feels like... I'm 90% sure this is gonna be the closest I have to being a rally car. Der Spinnig. Ach, die Leute schauen uns so an. Das ist mit Abstand das Gestörteste, was wir, glaube ich, jemals gemacht haben. Boah. I tell you guys, this is not even close to being a normal compact anymore. This truly feels like a race car. Ich bin so nervös. I really hope the car doesn't blow up. The plan is pretty simple. We're just gonna drive and see what happens. So Patrick is on the laptop and we have Ronnie with us over like live view or team view, whatever it's called. So Ronnie is gonna map this car and then we're gonna see how much power we can make and how much flames we can make, more importantly. Yeah, so if everything goes well today, then the E46 Compact M3 project should be finished and should be ready to hit the streets and the mountains, which I'm very excited for. So it's ready? Yeah. Fast. It's so cold in here. Alright, this is gonna be a pretty interesting day. Gabriel has never driven on a dyno before. Patrick is gonna check everything on the PC. Gabriel is driving. I'm filming, Celine is hiding. This is so exciting right now. I hope nothing blows up. So far it looks pretty good rolling. So nervous, I can't believe it. We're warming up the car a little bit first. Alright, I think we're ready for the first couple of pulls. Holy shit. I think was das gerade tristen. I have it all over my face. So, for everybody, there is one little plug in the engine, and basically if it gets too cold and the water freezes inside the engine, this just pops out and it prevents the engine from cracking. And now for whatever reason this plug just fell out the engine and all the coolant just got everywhere. Alright, I'm gonna drive back home now and I'm gonna get the plug. We have one in the garage, but the garage is pretty far from here, so see you guys in 2 hours. Söderle.
2 hours later.
Reingeklopft und dann ist ein zweiter drin gewesen. Zweiter am Pumuckl. Der Meister wieder unter Pumuckl.
Der Hund damit der Check drin, der gleich spielt.
Ja, aber ich bin schon gezwungen. Guckerfrau updaten.
So, meine Damen. So old coolant, everything good now. Now this thing is so fucking crazy. On the last measurements, we had around 580 horsepower with 1.5 bar. We're gonna drive with 1.8 bar now of boost. This is the coldest dyno day I've ever had.
vorne brennt Feuer aus. Mir brennt die Achsel weg!
Alright, everything held up perfectly fine. We had around 600-ish horsepower on the last run to all four wheels, which is absolutely amazing. Alles überlebt, alles überstanden. Gratuliere, Gebs.
Dankeschön.
Sehr gut gemacht.
Dankeschön, das freut mich.
Gabriel Scheuer, Motorwerke, Autoschmiede, Waffenschmiede.
Radtrickverlustschmiede.
Oh.
Light up a room. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I just stare in your eyes. Stare in your eyes. And I just stare in your eyes. Stare in your eyes. Can you take me higher? Higher, higher. 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 When you're all over my mind, all in my mind. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I just stare in your eyes. Stare in your eyes. And I just stare in your eyes. Stare in your eyes. Can you take me higher? Higher, higher.